So I cannot take the d4 pawn because knight f3 would be a royal fork. You know, it was a bad thing, but now it's actually a good thing. Like, I managed to actually use my pawns to my advantage, and I actually don't think white is worse. I created complications to survive an opening blunder. Do you think you could have done any better? This is round number 2 of the Pennsylvania State Championship, and I lost my first round against a 1400, and I was pretty sad. It was my 5th game in a row that I lost, and I'll be honest, I started this game immediately afterwards, this round 2 game, and I was absolutely emotionally distraught and emotionally out of it. I couldn't even stand to be in the playing hall for the first half of this game because of what happened. So I played e4, he played d6, and I played d4. Usually this means they're going to play knight f6 on move 2, attack the pawn, and I'll defend the pawn. And it could be a Philidor defense, it could be a Perk defense. There's a variety of things it could be. But he plays a weird move on move 2, my 1600 rated opponent, a middle-aged adult man. He played knight c6. And he's not attacking my d4 pawn. He's not threatening it because it's defended by the queen. I could play d5, gain space in this way. It does give up the e5 square, and maybe I could play f4. But I just wasn't so sure about it. It doesn't look bad. Like, maybe I can even play c4. But I wasn't super familiar with it. And if he's playing this move on move 2, he probably knows what he's doing in this opening. Probably. Although, like, I didn't really think about pushing to d5 just because I'd rather stick with what I know. And I've been playing so badly in my games. And I was like so devastated for my last round. I'm like, I'm just going to go for a basic setup and just play f3, bishop e3. And I'm just going to be fine. He played knight f6. And just continuing his development, I play f3. I have a very solid center here, and he plays e5. So now it turns into more of a Philidor defense. I play knight ge2, blocking in my own bishop, but defending the d4 pawn, and he plays bishop e7. My first intention was bishop e3. Very natural. Bishop e3, queen d2, castles long. You really can't go wrong with this type of setup. I've made a variety of recaps where I do this setup with f3 with this pawn chain, queen d2, bishop e3, and I just kill my opponents. I made numerous videos on it, so I'm not going to go too much into depth. It's just a really good setup. You can't really go wrong with it, especially for these openings where they delay taking control of the center. But in 2 weekends ago, I played against an opponent that had a very similar opening, but instead of this knight on c6, there was a pawn on c6. And the queen was on c7, and he played h5 to stop g4. And I was like, wait a second, bishop e7, he hasn't played h5 to stop g4. Wait, this means I can play g4. Like, that was my logic. That was like literally my logic. I was like, I can play g4 because, and now my pawn, my f3 pawn, really great here, supporting the center, supporting my kingside expansion, and I'm doing really great. Except it's a blunder. It's just a horrible, horrible blunder on move 6. Like, I just pushed my g pawn on move 6. I pushed my f pawn. And I push my g pawn. This is like a beginner's mistake 101. Do not push your f and g pawns early in the opening. And yeah, it's just bad. It's just bad. My original intention after d takes or e takes d4 was to take. But then he has this nasty move, knight takes g4. Opening up the door for his queen and bishop towards my king. And if I take his knight, then he can go check, and after king moves, let's say here, for example, then takes, and if takes, then check. And if I don't take this knight, he's gonna go to f2, and fork my queen and rook. And if I go king d2, then he has the move. Maybe he just takes. But maybe I'm surviving here. I'm not super sure. There's some line I was worried about that I knew was losing. But there's different move orders he could do. For example, after takes, he could take first, and then after queen takes, now play knight takes g4. And if I take, then he has check. And this. Although this is just a fork, though. So it gets complicated. I don't know the exact way. I don't remember. This game was yesterday. I don't remember the exact way it's winning for black. I don't remember the exact move order. This is a no engine recap. But because I'm having trouble finding the tactical sequence here, I want to turn on the engine just for this one moment. After it takes, if I take, yeah, you sacrifice now. And if I take here, go check, king d2, takes. And if you do take, is queen g5 check, king d3. Oh, bishop a6. Ah, yes. Bishop a6. And yeah, if you go here, this is just mate. So it's very, very, very much losing here. Okay, yes, I forgot. That makes sense. Okay. So I play g4. And which is a horrible blunder. And he thinks for like about 20 minutes here. Because, I mean, if he's going to sacrifice a knight, he has to be sure that it's winning. And it's a good investment for his time. And, you know, I'm just literally, I sit outside the playing hall on the ground, just like, because I'm just going to lose my 6th game in a row. And I've spent so much time and energy and emotion into this game, and I'm just losing left and right, and I'm making another blunder, and I'm going to lose another game. But I just tell myself, just play one move at a time, 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 and I just go back in there. And that happened a few times throughout the beginning of this game. He ended up taking, and I decide I'm not going to take back. I think that's just losing. I go knight d5. And so he's temporarily up a pawn, maybe permanently up a pawn. Let's turn off the engine now. Knight d5, and he just takes my knight and plays bishop h4, checking the king. My knight has not committed itself to taking the d4 pawn, so I can block with the knight. And yeah, that's the main reason why I couldn't take the d4 pawn, because if my knight takes on d4, I cannot block the check. But since my knight's still on e2, I can block it, and I can, you know, my king's a bit more safe. He plays knight e5, so I cannot take the d4 pawn, because knight f3 would be a royal fork, forking the queen and king. So I play king f2, defending the pawn. He plays queen f6, so once again, cannot take, because I'm just going to get absolutely murdered here. This does not look very good at all. Yeah, this does not look good. I don't even know what the best move is. You could even just take here. That's totally an option too. So I play bishop e2, defending my f3 pawn. Oh wait, no, I don't go bishop e2 because of knight takes g4. Utilizing the pin from the queen to the king. So I go king g2, and queen f6. He said after the game, queen f6 was probably a bad move. I think I agree, because he's forcing me to play a move I already want to play. So he probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe he can play the move c6 and try to open up his queen this way, or maybe get his bishop out first. Maybe play the move h5. Just to open up this file and towards his king. Maybe he can try to play queen e7 and bishop d7 and castle queenside. Maybe there's different options, and I'm sure they're all okay. Queen f6 probably wasn't the best move, though. I play king g2. Like I said, forced move. He castles. I don't think he had to castle. He said he thinks castling was good, and I'm sure it's not bad. I'm sure castling isn't bad, but I just have a feeling like bishop d7 and let's say bishop e2 and castles queenside. Like, doesn't this just look a little bit more appealing? Because you can just chuck all your pawns towards the side of the board. Like, this just looks more appealing to me, but maybe I'm wrong. White does have a lot of defenders around their king, but still, like, it just feels more natural to castle the opposite way and try to attack, but maybe I'm wrong. So he castles short. I play bishop e2, and he plays bishop d7, connecting his rooks, and maybe he'll play c6 at some point in the future, maybe not, and I play f4. I would love to take on d4 to get my pawn back, but knight takes g4. The knight is guarded by the bishop, and it defends a queen. So, and he just took a pawn, and my queen's hanging. So if the pawn was on c3, then I could just take back the knight, and then if he takes, I can take back. But now if I take back the knight, my queen's just hanging. So I take his queen. So if this did happen, I would have to take his queen. I don't have to, but my point is I lose a pawn. I lose this g4 pawn if I take this d4 pawn. So if takes, then takes. So I cannot take the d4 pawn yet, but I come up with this nice idea to play f4 and f5. So I managed, so what was a weakness, which was my f and g pawns, they were overextended. I played f3, g, and g4 way too early, and I ended up losing a pawn in the opening and getting my king, not castled, unable to be castled. It was a bad thing, but now it's actually a good thing. I managed to actually use my pawns to my advantage, and I actually don't think white is worse. Maybe that's a stretch. But it's not clear. It's definitely not clear. If black can open up this diagonal towards the king and get this light squared bishop active, then it's really bad news bears. But it's not. But yeah, it doesn't look that bad for white in general, though. It's not super clear. And it's everything I could hope for. I blundered a pawn in the opening. This is everything I could have possibly hoped for. And so I think I did a good job here of playing f4 and then g5, expanding and winning my pawn back, and making things complicated. And he ends up deciding to trade off his dark squared bishop and open up this file towards his king with my rook. I don't think he had to do this. Actually, I'll take it back. I'm not sure if he had to do this. He said that he was really scared of these knight hops. Knight e4, knight g4, knight h5. For example, if he plays rook e8, then maybe I have the move knight e4. And after the queen moves, maybe I can even play the move g5. I'm not super convinced, though. Maybe I can play the move f1, rook f1, though. Preparing g5. But then there's always tactics like knight takes g4 and taking on e4. So it's not super easy for him. Not super easy for me. I could also play the move knight h5, queen e7, and f6. And but here it doesn't work, I don't think. Yeah, because he can take like this. And I don't think I have enough for anything. So I'm not sure why he was scared of my knight hops. So I don't think he really needed to trade off his dark squared bishop and open up my h file, but he did. So maybe that was his real second mistake. I don't think he should have castled short. I don't think he had to, and I don't think he had to open up my h file. But I'm not sure what he was thinking. That being said, he does play rook e8, and I do think he's totally fine. Like as white, I'm breathing a sigh of relief that the game's going on, and I haven't lost yet, despite losing out of the opening. But yeah, rook e8 is actually a really nasty move. If I play a random move like a4, for example, he has the move knight takes g4, which you're like, huh? Well, if queen takes, knight takes, so once again he wins a pawn. And if bishop takes, and of course queen takes queen. And if queen takes, now he has to move bishop takes f5, attacking the queen. And the rook is attacking the bishop. And if queen h5, then bishop g6. And if queen f5, maybe the move h5. Although there's this move queen f3, but then bishop e4, pinning the queen to the king, defended by the rook. And if I ever move my queen off this diagonal, then of course the rook is hanging with check. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like rook e8 sets up knight takes g4. Like it literally sets up knight takes g4. And I have two options. I have rook f1 or rook h5. And both of them are good options because they defend this f5 pawn. So if knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes, well now the queen doesn't have to stay tethered to the defense of the bishop because the rook can take. And if rook takes, and queen takes, I'm up a bishop. I'm up a piece. So this is pretty good for me. So yeah, so I was pretty happy with this move, rook h5. To defend this f5 pawn. But there was another idea behind rook f5. And that was, if he did a random move like a5, it's bishop g5, trapping the queen. The queen is trapped. The pawn and the bishop, yeah. He's trapped. That's it. You could try to sacrifice your knight to get your queen out. But I could just take. And if check, I can go probably just here. Or maybe here. And yeah, this is pretty good for me. So that's my threat. And yeah, I actually thought in the game he would be doing perfectly fine if he played the move queen e7. I actually thought queen e7, and I have huge issues. He actually thought I could play bishop g5, but the issue is f6. And I have to move my bishop back, and he has to move, and then he has to move knight c6. And if I take, then check. And after he blocks, he takes with check. And so knight c6 is a nasty move. Like, firstly, knight c6 is a nasty, nasty move, man. So he could play this move, knight c6, and I was really scared of this move. Because it attacks my queen, and he attacks my bishop with a check. So, if queen e7, I like, what am I going to do? If I develop my bishop, then once again, knight c6. And there's nothing I can really do to stop him from infiltrating onto the second rank. There really is nothing here. So, if queen e7, I was planning to make the move bishop d1. This was my idea. It is absolutely ridiculous. It blocks in my rook on a1, but now knight c6, the bishop, the e2 square is covered by the bishop, and my bishop isn't hanging. So I can just take, and I'm fine. So this is the main thing I was calculating. And yeah, I'm pretty happy I found it. Oh, even here though, it's not clear. It's not clear at all. Maybe king f1 is better, but no, that's just mate. Wait, is it? Oh, no. Oh, but then bishop f3, then queen e2. And if king h2, maybe king h2 is good. Yeah, because now queen e1, we're not threatening checkmate. But honestly, is this really that bad for him? Thinking out loud here. I could play bishop d2. He has no checks. That's good. And he could go check here. But I don't think it leads to anything. Oh my god, it leads to mate. Here, check. Here. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's nuts. I did not see this. There's got to be other options for me. Wow. Yeah, knight c6 might still be a good sacrifice. I don't have to take the knight. But if I do, it's awfully difficult to defend. It's really difficult to defend here. Yeah, it's really difficult. Yeah. Oh my goodness, rook e2. Rook e2 is nasty. I could also play the move queen here. Queen g1 might be the move to defend. Oh, bishop d2 is also just mate immediately. The queen g1 might be my only move. But then takes, and check. And he wins this rook back, and he's up a pawn, and this bishop is pinned. Oh my gosh, yeah, knight c6 is still winning. Bishop d1, knight c6. Although, maybe winning is an exaggeration, because I can just go queen d2. Or queen f2. And maybe I can take on f6. And then if he has to move his knight again, then I can develop with the tempo up at queen e3. So maybe it's not losing for me, but it is awfully scary. But it is awfully scary. Okay. So I play rook h5, and I think his only move is queen e7. Or maybe not his only move, but his best move is queen e7. Instead, he plays g6, which is significantly worse. I play bishop g5, and I'm a happy camper. He plays queen h8. If he plays queen g7, I could play bishop h6 maybe, or I could play f6, locking his queen away. And if he goes queen h8, then rook h6 and rook ah1 and attack this h7 pawn. So I wasn't scared if he played queen g7, but instead he played queen h8, and now my rook is hanging, and I play rook h8 or rook h6. I mean, and if he takes, then his queen is trapped, which looks pretty good for me. So he plays f6 now. And I thought for a while here, and I was like, if I don't sacrifice the bishop, I won't be able to live with myself. Like, I was like thinking here for like at least 12 minutes or something like that. On like, okay, should I move my bishop back? Probably not, because he can play the move g5 and close it down, or play the move rook e7. But then there is this pin, so he probably he'll probably shut it down. If I double up, play rook e7 and defend from here. So that's why I decided to just sacrifice the piece, play pawn takes g6 to get my rook in, plays queen f6, and I just double up. And yeah, he thinks all the way down to like 3 seconds here and plays queen takes 6. And I play bishop d3, and he flags. I think this position is absolutely winning. I thought he would play queen f6, and I could just play. I forget what I was playing. I think I was playing rook h6, and his queen is trapped. If he goes here, then I could probably just go. What's the best way to do this? I could. Yeah, I'd probably just go check. And if here, then maybe check here. And takes, check. And everything's winning. Everything's winning. But he did say to me after the game that I could probably just, instead of bishop d3, I can just take this knight. And he can't take because of check. Although it's not mate. But it's pretty close. Maybe this? Oh, he has to give up his queen now. Yeah, this pawn blocks out. Yeah, he has to give up his queen. Okay. Yeah, so I probably should have just taken the bishop. But I put bishop d3, and he flags, and I win. So it is the first game I won in 6 games. I was on a 6-game loss streak, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, I came back in this game. And yeah, I mean, I absolutely blundered. Like it was so bad. Yeah, g4 here. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. And I really didn't like my position. I don't think queen f6 was the best, but probably not horrible. I don't think casting was the best, but it probably wasn't horrible. And then, you know, he allowed me to win back his pawn. I'm not sure what he should have played instead. Probably instead of castling, I still think he should have played c6, maybe. Or maybe, yeah. Maybe after king g2, maybe play c6. If I take, then probably take back with the pawn. Play c5. Because once again, takes. Although, yeah, there's no in between checks. He has this check, but then I can just bring it back. Yeah, so that's why he can't. Oh wait, after this check here, f4. Maybe he does have to castle. Maybe c6 now. And takes. Once again, he cannot take because of this. Or I cannot take because of that. So maybe he should have played c6. But of course, I don't have to take. And if I don't take, like let's say I just play f5, knight here, yeah, f4 and then f5 here, maybe knight h5 is what he was worried about, and things like his queen getting trapped. But in this case, the queen isn't trapped, but it's close. Pretty close. Maybe it does get trapped, actually. Yeah, that's really interesting. There must have been something else he could have played. I don't think I was better already after queen f6. No way. There must be some sort of resource I'm missing. Not super sure. But yeah, I think allowing me to have this open H file was a lot. But like I said, I think he's still doing great. All things considered, as long as he plays queen e7. I think as long as he plays queen e7, I think he's doing great here. And he might have even gone on to win this game. But he missed that idea and played g6 instead. And got into a really horrible position. And I ended up being able to sacrifice a bishop. And yeah, I mean, like, it's sad that he just flagged here. Of course, you cannot take the bishop because of mate. But yeah, I mean, I think a bad game by me. G4 immediately. But I still, kept my eyes open and, tried to fight, playing move by move. So, I think if you blunder in the opening, just keep fighting. Don't make things simple for your opponents, and just play move by move. Feels like I don't want to play any. At least that's how it is for me. So, okay. Well, I think I'll leave it there, and I'll game review time. See you guys later. Okay, I gotta give my reaction to this. So what? So in this position, firstly, okay, this best move. Taking with the rook was a mistake because I gotta check the engine on this. Because after queen f6, rook h1, there's this move c5, and if I take, bishop takes c6, and I'm busted. Because king g1, knight f3 check. And my queen is hanging. And if I go king h3, then rook takes h1 and I'm losing. So after c5, I cannot take. And after queen c3, I thought he might play c5, but I thought I was still winning. And then rook f8, then rook 1 f6. Because, of course, my idea was that to play bishop d3, and he can't take because his knight's pinned to his queen. because his queen was undefended, but now he defends his queen. So now I cannot go bishop d3, or else that's simply trading. Oh wait, that also just blunders mate in 2 because of check here and takes, which makes sense. So one h1 is it's only moved. Then bishop takes, rook check, gives up his queen. Bishop takes, the knight's pinned, and then king g7, and it's equal material. Bishop h5, equal material. Wow, that's crazy. And so the winning move was rook a-h1 immediately. No, was g takes a7 check, king f7. I thought about this, but I didn't think it was that good. Bishop d3, and if takes, queen takes d3, and it's winning because rook e1 check, king d8 check. If queen takes, and I promote, and if king takes, queen g6, king e7, rook h1. And you still cannot move your queen because I promote. And this is absolutely crushing for black. So what did I miss? So after pawn takes, I missed the follow-up of bishop d3 and how good it was to force a trade here. And if he does he have to trade? Can he go king e7? Then I have queen e3 attacking this g7 pawn, and there's no way for him to defend because my rook. And queen g7, why can't he do that? Because rook g6. Okay, rook g6, that's the move. And it takes, then I have rook here check, or queen takes g5 first. And yeah, this looks really bad for him. Okay, so taking with the pawn was better. Wow, taking with the pawn was better. Wow, okay. Wow. Ugh. Okay, other moments I want to highlight. Here, okay, this makes sense. Rook h5, bishop d2 was a better move. And allowing him to go takes, bishop takes here, here. And h5 is not winning because of rook takes f5. And if bishop takes, queen takes, and white is better, it's +2. Why is it +2? Rook h1, and I'm killing you. So I did not need to be afraid of h5 because that's a mistake. And if black doesn't play f5, it's -0.1, so it's equal. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. That's wild. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This position is ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Well, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys later.